everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I got a little story, behind as to why I chose to become a barber, or how was I even introduced into the barbering game, because a lot of people don't know the story behind me choosing to be a barber. So I want to bring it up and have it out there for you guys. So basically, for those of you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Rey.Blends, right? I've been cutting for a year and 7 months now. I recently graduated barber school on May 18, I believe, of this year, so 2024. Basically, guys, going back to, I would say, I graduated high school 2 years ago, 2022. It was a really hard choice for me to do, because this is a little bit deeper than what I was supposed to do or say, but basically, guys, I was brought here to the United States when I was a child, so with that being said, my parents brought me here when I was 2.5, I believe, or 3. So yeah, it was a really rough childhood for me, growing up, going to school and stuff, because my friends, I remember we would have talks like middle school, like 8th grade year, what are you gonna be when you grow up, or in the future, whatever, And I remember them being having all these ideas, I'm gonna be a firefighter, I'm gonna be a police officer, I'm gonna go to college and this and that, So for me, it was really hard, The reason why is because when they would say, "Oh, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, I'm gonna be this," I would be like, damn, I wish I could say something and be the same as them, have the same options, the same ideas or whatever. So even before I graduated or anything, I always had the mind of having my own business, my own store, something of mine, something that represents me, something that represents just a brand or something. So I started doing, out of high school, once I graduated high school, I remember I was doing car detailing, right? And at first it was fun, I enjoyed it, but there was just something that wasn't working, I guess you could say. I didn't caught up to it, it was just not for me. I do love cars and trucks and all this, but I would have rather do body work, even mechanical, but not really cleaning, because it's funny, because I would be cleaning all these people's cars, but then my car would be a mess. So I stopped doing that. Keep in mind, I went to Wisconsin to work at my uncle's dealership, and things just started happening, Also, guys, if I sound if I'm quiet or something, it's because it's literally 12:01 right now. But like I said, I'm trying to hustle, man. I'm trying to hustle with YouTube, barbering, everything, so gotta grind, But back to what I was saying. So I go over there to Wisconsin. I stay over there for a month or so. I come back, and I was in this deep situation, I didn't know what to do. I had, I felt like everybody was doubting me. Nobody really had support for me, Even though they did, I was just really stuck on my ways, if that makes any sense, So keep in mind, I've been with my girl since sophomore year of high school, right? And ever since, I forgot when she told me, but she told me, I remember, be a barber. right? I was like, nah, like, that's not for me, this and that. A few years later, I'm a licensed barber, so it's crazy, But going back to what I was saying, so remember how I said I always had like the idea of being an entrepreneur or something along those lines, right? So I remember coming back from Wisconsin and I started doing a part-time job at a breakfast restaurant, right? So I've been working at a restaurant since I was 13 years old, guys. I started working since I was 13 years old. So I always had that hustle mentality. I started working really young, so I started providing for my own stuff, my shirts, my clothes, anything I wanted, So then I started working at that breakfast place, right? And then within me, I knew I wanted something better for myself, I always told myself I don't want to keep doing this for the rest of my life, right? Don't get me wrong, I respect everybody that works in restaurants or anything on that field, but for me it was just not it, guys. I was done, I was tired of it. It was not for me. So I remember I would always tell my parents like, oh, like, I can't wait to get a better job, I can't wait to this, I can't wait to that, and they would always be like, keep in mind, guys, so my parents are really like old school, if you're Mexican and the struggle, man, they're stuck on their old ways, they don't see the new evolution, I guess you could say, of the new generation, right? So I remember one day I just out of nowhere, my boy Erwin, right? So he's actually the guy I work with now, so I work in his shop. So what's it called? So I go get a haircut from him or something, and then we just started talking. He asked me, oh, how's like family and stuff, cause we did had a Western wear store, like a cowboy store. So he would always ask me, stuff. And so I just told him, I was like, oh, like, we don't have it no more, blah, 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 So, and he was like, damn, so what you doing now? So long story short, right, he kind of told me about barbering, right? But in my head, I'm like, nah, like, there's a lot of barbers in my area, like, everybody has a barber, like, they've been doing it for so many years, and I'm a little too grown to learn stuff. But then, the same day, I go back to my house, right? And I just started watching like YouTube videos of barbering, and I'm like, okay, I kind of, I like the idea, the concept of having your own schedule, working the hours that you want, So I started looking more into it, and I remember I bought me some clippers, right, that actually I might have here. So these are my first clippers, guys. They're all messed up right now. So these were, in fact, my first pair of clippers. I bought them from Amazon. They came with what's it called? So those clippers actually came with a clipper and trimmer set. So I remember as soon as I got them, I started practicing on my brothers, my dad, or whatever, right? And I started liking with it. I started, liking it, So I remember I told my parents, like, oh, I think I'll be a barber. And I remember the first thing they said was, oh, ain't you, how they said it? They're like, que no estás muy grande pa hacer eso, which it means, ain't you too old or grown to do that? Back to what I was saying, Mexican parents, they're really old school, So I kind of try to like talk them into it, like, oh no, they make a lot of good money, like, I just straight up convince them, right? And they kind of just like ignore me a little bit, like they were like, he's gonna get over it, But I would tell my parents all the time, like, oh, like, I really want to be a barber, like this and that. And I remember I started looking at barber schools, right? Because my boy Erwin, he would, out of all the barbers in my town, he was one of the ones that would always show me support. You know, I would send pictures of my work and he'll reply like, oh, you could do this better, you could do that, you know. So he would always give me feedback to do better, right? So what's it called? So yeah, then I told him like, oh, what's the next step, right, bro? Like, how do you like, you know, like take it serious or stuff, you know? So he was like, well, if you want to take it to the next level, you should go to barber school. So as soon as I heard barber school, guys, I was like, oh, right? I was like, I'm not trying to go back to school, I'm just trying to work. But then I thought about it myself. I'm like, if I go to barber school right now, I'll just get it over with, you know, and then later on I can just go straight into my career. So I started looking at barber schools. There was a lot in my area. Well, there was like 2 close to me, but I ended up going to one that was like 25 or 30 minutes away from me. So I signed up and everything to barber school, right? And I remember my parents being like, okay, we're gonna do this, you have to, you know, go 100%, you can't quit, you have to echarle ganas, right? So I'm like, damn, okay. So I remember I started school January 2023. Yes, January 2023. So I started doing barber school, right? And it was a really long process for me, which I'm not going to get into it that much in this video because that's probably for another video, which it's already my first video of my experience in barber school, but there's more I could add to it if you guys want me to. So January 2023 I started barber school, right? And when I had 4 months in barber school, I started working. It was 4 or 5 months in barber school. I started working at my boy's barber shop, right? So I started learning a lot from them, from the barbers in there, from him in particular, you know. And I started seeing my progress little by little, right? So as I saw improvement in myself, I started buying more. I started investing, right, in my tools or whatever. So yeah, guys, what's it called? So after that, well, like I said, I graduated barber school not too long ago, right? So it took me a year and 5 months to graduate barber school, and I could say it dragged a lot for me, right? But it showed me a lot of different things, right? Because I was paying $450 every month straight out of pocket, and I still had to pay booth rent. I still had to pay insurance for my car, right? I had to pay all these little things, you know, like dates with my girlfriend or gas or this and that, right? So good thing is I had my part-time job still, right? The restaurant I was telling you guys about, I was still working there. So then, what's it called? I was able to pay. I will save every week. I will save $100, right? So by the end of the month, I have $400, right? Plus an extra change, right, to equal the $450 plus my booth, right? So it was always those two things in my head, right? I have to make money to pay for my school and for my booth, right? So I remember towards the end I started getting really frustrated because I just wanted to be out, you know. I wanted to be out, start making money, and hustle, right? So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, barbering has changed my life a lot for the reason that I've learned to become more independent, right? And to hustle like 20 times harder, right? Because as a barber, if I'm being honest with you, right, I'm gonna keep it 100% honest with you guys. Being a barber, having your own business, whatever you want to call it, right, is not for everybody, guys. You know, an example is one of my brothers. He tried doing barbering, he didn't like it, just because he's the type of person that likes to get paid, right? That likes to make money constantly, right? And that's not how barbering works, right? There's days that you're gonna do amazing. There's days that days, weeks that it's gonna be the worst, But so then I graduated barber school, right? I graduated barber school, and I started working in a construction company, right? So I always went to the construction, right? It was always one of those things that, oh damn, it's cool, like, building stuff, or I was always a hands-on person, right? So I started working construction for like maybe a month or so, and little by little I kind of started forgetting about barbering, right? Because I would get off of work at like 4, and plus by the time I got back to town, because I would go to far places in my area, right? I would go to like West Chicago, if like Chicago areas and stuff. Then I stay in Joliet, and I would go all the way to West Chicago, far as places, right? So then little by little I didn't start losing love for barbering, but motivation, right? So I was like, you know what, I gotta quit this. And by this time I had already quit my had I? So before I started construction, I had already quit my restaurant job, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna drop everything and I'm gonna become a full-time barber, right? And I've been a full-time barber now for maybe a month or so, like a month and a few days. And it's a struggle, guys, but it's a sacrifice I have to do to become better, to become better at my craft and my job. So yeah, I mean, it's been a journey for sure, I just really wanted to do a quick video for you guys explaining my reason behind barbering, why I chose it. Yeah, guys, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, like I said before, barbering has changed my life a lot. It's teach me how to be more, like I said, independent, how to value more things, appreciate the things that I have, right? So, I mean, other than that, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up the video. I mean, what time is it right now? It's literally 12:15 p.m. or a.m. now, right? So it's Friday, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep uploading more and more videos, guys. Honestly, like, I don't care what time it is now. I just, now that I'm done with school and don't have to study for my license or whatever, right? For my barbering license, like, I'm gonna just grind. So, we make it, So please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and just leave a comment down below. I kind of want to engage with all of you guys so that we get this channel buzzing, If you can, follow my Instagram, is down on the screen somewhere, or up or down in the sides, whatever, right? But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you share the video with anybody you have, your relatives, anybody, right? Like I said, let's get this channel going. Yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Now I'm gonna go to sleep.
I checked out your store when it had first opened. That's when I was